And what before the pandemic, what was the anxiety levels for 29%, and now it shot up to 72%. The US cases of depression have tripled during the COVID-19 pandemic. A large study finds a dramatic increase in the number of adults in the United States reporting symptoms of depression during the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of adults experiencing the depression in the US has tripled. According to a major study, researchers estimate that more than 1 in 4 US adults now report experiencing symptoms of depression. Before the pandemic, 8.5% of US adults reported being depressed. That number has risen to 27.8 as the country struggles with COVID-19. The employees at the work hit the hardest. The young workers, which is age groups between 22 to 25, almost 90%, and ages 26 to 37%, 83%, and about ages 38 to 54, about 73%, and ages 55 to 74, about 62%. So what are the contributions from Kailasa's Department of Human Services to combat this COVID-19? What are the contributions to the humanity? With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Kailasa's Department of Enlightened Civilization presents Department of Religion and Worship, Department of Human Services, and each of Kailasa's temple ecosystems consider the right of happiness to be the highest fundamental right of all human beings, in fact, all beings. The ultimate goal for Hinduism and Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, that is the material and spiritual well-being and prosperity of humanity. Kailasa is a place where everything related to superconsciousness is revived. All the sampradayas, all the spiritual ecosystems created for enlightenment will be revived and established in such a way it never gets lost again. There is forever serving the humanity, says the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can see how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism tirelessly worked for over 27 years to revive the temple-based ecosystems of Kailasa. You can see the glimpses from Adi Kailasa Sarvajnapeetham and how Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted various workshops, and thousands and thousands of people attended these workshops, and he taken the disciples to the various yatras, pilgrimages. These pictures are, some of these pictures, glimpses are from those, and the various processions, temple rituals, reviving those, and leading by example by Kara Seva, the leading into the Kara Seva is voluntary physical work to any cause, any good cause. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism leading an example to the peacekeepers of Kailasa, to everyone, by doing, and he has established the thousands of ecosystems across the continents, across the globe, and starting from 1990, when Mataji Vibhudananda Puri handled serving the humanity, serving the Annadan, and various programs, meditation workshops, free meditation workshops like Kalpataru and other various programs serving the humanity. And you can see the rightmost picture where the same Tiruvannamalai Sarvajnapeetham receiving visitors and delegates for the Kalpataru meditation workshop. And the Shiva Diksha, and Shiva Diksha is one of the primary initiations of Hinduism. And you can see some more glimpses where Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism tirelessly worked. Now you're seeing the glimpses are from the Western Hemisphere, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism worked to establish the temples in the Western Hemisphere. And you can see the Kailasa in Columbus, and the previous picture that is Kailasa in Los Angeles. And this is picture that you're seeing is from Kailasa in Seattle, Washington, and the Kailasa in San Jose, California. And the glimpses you're seeing now from Kailasa in St. Louis, Missouri, and Kailasa in Phoenix, Arizona, and Kailasa in Houston, Texas, and Kailasa in Toronto, Canada. So there are various spiritual practices and various activities to reach out to the people, to public, and to conduct the various practices, and what are the essential practices that the participants of the spiritual ecosystems are the Adinavasis of the spiritual ecosystems to do. The morning spiritual routine and what is that enlightened ecosystem is about, and how it is serving and saving the humanity from this the pandemic. So before that, the Devi Parashakti revealed in 12th May 2021 that I came as Nija Avatar. I am blessing you. Listen, people, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nija Avatar. People of India, listen carefully. Listen. Time after time, Bharatam is Jnana Bhumi, where enlightened beings comes, and we cannot make Jnana Bhumi as infertile. Enlightened beings have to come, and they have to live, and it has to flower. For few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save the cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya is Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of Drohis and enemies rule, the captain has to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all Aushadas, by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashana is going to flower, all people to come and take dip in Navapashana flower. People, whoever comes and dip in Vaidyasarovar, they will not have death and they will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line every day, and they will come and dip in the Ananda Lingam. On 13th May 2021, Devi revealed that, listen to my words. For India, I made this ship as protection, the Nithyananda Navapashana Lingam in Vaidyasarovar, and go to Adi Kailasa. O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing the Nithyananda Nija Avatara without confusion and without talking, just as a lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. The scores of people will come there looking for health, Navapashana water feast, and meditate. To get health and protection and enlightenment, to protect India from the great destruction, I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if captain is not there, ship is there. So when the first world countries closed their borders during a massive global emergency, Kailasa has opened its doors to all without exception. The morning spiritual routine is a fuel to reach Kailasa. Morning spiritual routine and the chemical changes it brings to you, and the healing it does in your system, and the biological rhythm it sets in your system, all of them are very important. It is an important fuel for you to experience the multiple dimensions of the universe. The spiritual routine and integrity to the spiritual routine, initiations, all are completely private and personal between you and me. The members of Kailasa's protective, preventive, multi-layered quarantine initiative take part every day here in Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham, and the morning spiritual routine consists of the Nithyananda Yoga, Panchakriya, and Nitya Pratyaksha, Paduka Puja, and the Kashayam, which is herbal drinks to one and by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Morning spiritual routine. Tune your biological clock to the spiritual practices because the chemistry you enjoy inside matters. That decides the kind of plane of the universe, dimension of the universe you are going to experience. Kailasa or Patala. Kailasa is the place where Paramashiva lives. It is the highest vertical time zone where Paramashiva live. And Patala is the place, the lowest vertical time zone where the demons live. Or Swarga or Naraka, the heaven or the hell. So morning spiritual routine is a direct path to Kailasa. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, person who is in love will wait to spend time with the beloved. If you are a seeker and you'll be waiting for these 5 hours every day, because that is the time you get near what you are seeking closely. A person who is in love will be waiting to spend time with the beloved, and a person who is seeking will be waiting to spend this 4 hours, because this is the time you get closest to what you are seeking. Your seeking takes shape into the system, and then when your beloved comes near you, and if you are tired and love is gone, dead. During the morning 4 hours, if you are bored and your seeking is dead, gone, and you need thorough howling inside you, and you need to ask yourself, you need to question many of your answers, that you need to bring pure questioning back to your life. The morning spiritual routine, after you wake up, you'll start with the Panchakriya. The Panchakriya involves the 5 powerful processes to remove toxins and impurities from your system. And just like how we take shower every day to clean the external parts of our body, Panchakriya is a powerful cleansing process which cleanses the internal organs of our body. Keeping it cool, these techniques not only cleanse our body, but bring peace and balance to our mind and lightness and bliss to our being. The Nithyananda Yoga, which when you do the yoga, you experience your entire body becoming Amrita Sharira, that is the body filled with nectar, and it becomes an ecstatic body just by the air without any external touch. In puja, you experience the space of bhakti, devotion, the space of surrender that occurs to you from this devotion moves you from I, which is so heavy, to Hinduism is Rudrabhishekam. In Rudrabhishekam, we offer sacred bath to the Shivalinga while chanting powerful mantras. The Shivalinga is a deity which beautifully represents the divine. Its form indicates how God is beyond form and formless. When in the puja, when we sit down and connect with the God, performing the Rudrabhishekam, O Sadashiva, O Paramashiva, I know you are the soul, reveal yourself to me. And when we sit in that power, when we sit with that context and do the action of Rudrabhishekam, we experience the Bhava Samadhi. The only in Bhava Samadhi can give us the higher taste and higher joy in life. Rudrabhishekam is a beautiful ritual which allows us to experience the Bhava Samadhi of Shivoham, that I am divine. Regular practicing of morning spiritual routine, you'll manifest the Shaktis, the spiritual powers. If you just follow this morning 5 hours enough, you will have the Vak Shakti, that means all Shaktis manifesting in you, because all the obstacles for manifesting Shaktis, the tiredness, boredom, pitta, fatigue, everything will be churned out in that morning 5 hours. The morning puja is a powerful mandala process, the Shakti Pata, melting your being and then sitting and listening to the sacred truths, constantly inspiring, engaging, alive, awakening. Just this morning 5 hours, if you can bring integrity and authenticity, all the obstacles stopping you from the power manifestation will disappear. You can perform all the spiritual practices by yourself, like the morning yoga, Nitya Puja, But there will always be the risk of losing your initial inspiration and excitement after a few days or after a few weeks. Living in the enlightenment ecosystem, even if your boredom or tiredness try to pull you down, the Sangha will support you, help you, giving you the wake-up call, supporting you to complete your incompletions. In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we had at least 10,000 sampradayas. The religious, spiritual traditions, this enlightenment are keeping the enlightenment ecosystem alive. Each Hindu sampradaya is a spiritual ecosystem created for keeping the enlightenment science alive. Every monastery, every adhinam, every mutt, every temple, every Veda Patashala, every Sarvajna Pita, the ecosystem is created to created a lineage, a sampradaya created to keep the ecosystem of spiritual enlightenment alive. Some may be Shakta, some may be Yoga, some may be Vedanta, and some may be Tantra. Some may be Shakta Vedanta, some may be Shaiva Tantra. Some may be Yoga Vedanta, and some may be Yoga Shaiva. And some may be Vaidika Shaiva, and all kinds of permutation and combination. Each temple, each mutt, each monastery, each adhinam, each Veda Patashala, each sampradaya is a spiritual ecosystem created to keep the enlightenment science alive for that sampradaya. Join the Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. You can see some of the glimpses how the Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham, the glimpses from the members enrolled in the Kailasa's code protection initiative as they practice the morning spiritual routine, the Nithyananda Yoga, the Guru Puja, Shiva Puja, the enlightenment ecosystem of the Adi Kailasa in Bangalore. This morning spiritual routine generally makes up the 5 hours of everyone's day, and in one of the most fundamental practice of the seeker. And anyone who are on the path of achieving the enlightenment to keep the ultimate super consciousness space of Paramashivoham. And you can see some more glimpses. You can see some more glimpses where the participants of the COVID Care Protection Centers doing the morning yoga. You can see more and more glimpses and doing the puja. So join the COVID Care Protection Centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. Along with these various spiritual practices, in these multi-layered quarantine COVID Care Protection Centers as the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. See, what are the other services that are offered? One of the main thing that Kailasa offers is the Annadhan, the free service of the free food, where sattvic, organic, free meals. So what is the significance? What is the need for this? So as you see the statistics due to the pandemic and even the before also the pandemic has accelerated the increase in the global food insecurity affecting the vulnerable households in almost every country. It has exacerbated existing inequalities, pushing millions of people into the vicious cycles of economic stagnation, loss of livelihood, and worsening of food insecurity. The COVID-19 is creating a hunger catastrophe in India. The World Bank estimates that 71 million people will be pushed into extreme poverty across the globe as a result of the pandemic. The World Food Program estimates that an additional 130 million people could fall into category of food insecure over and above the 820 million who were classified as such by the 2019 State of the Food Insecurity in the World's report. Site COVID-19 worsens the plight of food insecurity. More than 50 million people have experienced food insecurity during the pandemic, up from the 35 million in 2019, according to the Feeding America nonprofit, the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization. Child malnutrition and hunger skyrocket in Haiti as COVID-19 infections spike. At least 86,000 children are at the risk of developing a severe acute child malnutrition in this year in Haiti. According to sources connected to the United Nations Children Fund, the number of children projected to suffer from starvation this year has doubled as the impoverished nation continues to grapple with extraordinary political and social crisis exacerbated by the pandemic. Refugees are paying the highest price in the COVID-19 pandemic. Vulnerable groups such as refugees are paying the highest price in the COVID-19 pandemic. We are seeing alarming trends that the many refugees around the world are unable to pay for food or rent and are struggling to access healthcare and education. By price hikes in local markets and further displacement caused by the campfires have pushed many families further into food insecurity. During April and May, around 30,000 refugees in Cox's Bazar camps raised questions and concerns, with 63% seeking services, including urgent food relief and shelter. Just over one third, 37% requested health and medical care. The famine risk spikes amidst the COVID-19, the conflict, and funding gaps. The number of people teetering on the brink of famine has risen from the 34 million projected at the beginning of the year to 41 million projected as of June. Without immediate emergency food assistance, they too face starvation, as the slightest shock will push them over the cliff into famine conditions. The World Bank releases report on growing food insecurity. The World Bank released food insecurity rates in Russia have led to severe and widespread increases in global food insecurity, affecting vulnerable households in almost every country, with impacts expected to continue through 2021 and into 2022. It also states that the global food prices increased significantly by 38% since January 2020. The World Economic Forum released that the 155 million people are caught up in food crisis of varying severity. 1,000 people in Burkina Faso, South Sudan, and Yemen. 10 countries account for 2/3 of those facing acute hunger. The resilience of agri-food systems is being eroded by conflict, insecurity, and environmental trends. So join the COVID care protection centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. So now let us understand the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on various satsang. Explain the importance of the food that we eat. He always says, you become what you eat. What you eat contributes to what you think, and what you think contributes to what you cognize. And what you cognize contributes to who you are. So what you eat directly affects who you are, and that is why I'm making the statement, you become what you eat. And what is in your plate matters, and because that is going to become you. Violence-based food derived from the killing of animals and life-negative, chemical-based toxic food both harm the system equally. The organic vegetarian food is not just for health. It gives you an inner peace, physical system, and physiological flow. To develop highest psychology, not only your physical system, even your physiological flow needs to cooperate. Your brain is constructed for all these higher things. When you don't explore the higher things, you are bound to feed the lower things and keep your brain engaged for survival. If you don't explore the higher dimensions of consciousness, you will force yourself into the drugs and try to explore the hallucination, imaginary, illusory dimensions of the universe. So make vegetarianism as a lifestyle. The human body is naturally designed for vegetarian food. The inner mechanism like feeling, thinking, words, everything is designed to function with vegetarian food. So it is like having a generator which can handle only 220-volt volts current, and or a UPS which can handle only 220-volt current. But it is given 20,000 volts current, what will happen is simply get fused. So energy of the food matters. The food without anxiety, fear, depression, biomemories, if they are consumed by a person, the energy with which they think, the energy with which they utter words, and the energy with which they act, the energy with which they feel, everything will be aligned to the natural source of energy, and it will be aligned to nature, which is the inner potential energy. Kailasas, Annalayas, that are serving the free, organic, vegetarian, sattvic meals for all, eliminating the hunger. The developmental, economic, social, and medical impacts of malnutrition and famine have a critical impact on the individual, familial, community, and national, ultimately on the global level. With the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic triggering an alarming spike in food insecurity, the United Nations have given warnings of famine of biblical proportions. In 2020 alone, 690 million people were estimated to be pushed into the food insecurity. The access and availability to organic food has become the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has committed to the distribution of free organic food to everyone. Not just since the beginning of his public life, but from his very upbringing itself. Kailasas Annalayas, the food bank established all across the globe, distributes and serves free vegetarian organic food for people of all castes, creed, religion, race, gender, and social standing. The various services, global services under the Kailasas Department of State, providing relief for natural man-made calamities, working to eliminate the world hunger. Now you can see the way always Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that we will revive the food supply system of Kailasa. Food will be ready. Continuous Annada. I'm not giving you any fantasy. It is already becoming a reality. You can see the glimpses where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism serving the free Sattvic organic meals to. This picture that you're seeing is way back in 22nd November 2002. The pictures show the early days of Kailasa's spiritual mission, Pontiff of Hinduism of Tirunamalai. Now you're seeing a picture with a fractured hand, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism engaged in selfless work day and night, inspiring the peacekeepers of Kailasa, sovereign order of Kailasa, to engage in selfless service, leading the nation of Kailasa by example. In 2011, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had a bone fracture with the bone protruding out of the skin, with two steel plants that were fastened in 2011 and that were removed in 2013, then because the bones are completely healed. And this picture is